We all know that you need consistent motivation when you're trying to start or stick with a new endeavor. After this video, you'll have the tools for infinite motivation. I'm AJ and I make fast-paced 2D games. Making games requires a lot of motivation for a long time. It can take anywhere from 4 months to 3 years to finish a complete game, and you need sustained motivation for the whole duration. We'll first fly through a couple definitions, then we'll talk about where motivation comes from, and then finally we'll address the million-dollar question of how to generate more motivation. People often say that motivation is fleeting and discipline is king, but what's the actual difference? For me, discipline is a system of generating motivation in the long term. If you think this way, then motivation is fleeting, discipline is king turns into spontaneous motivation is fleeting and system of generating motivation is king. That makes a lot of sense to me, and if it makes sense to you, you should subscribe to the channel. Now, where does motivation come from? Motivation comes from two sources, from push or pull sources. Push motivation is motivation that is pushing you away from fear or loss. And pull motivation is motivation that is pulling you towards a reward. Now, best results combine both. Pull motivations can be, for example, identity. You identify as a gym goer, so going to the gym reinforces your identity and thus feels rewarding to you. Another pull can be reward, for example, money, status, or intrinsic motivation. You just have created a habit and you feel good about doing it. And one pull motivation can just be straight up fun. Doing something is fun, so you feel motivated to do it. Push motivation can also come from identity. You don't want to lose your identity, so you stay motivated to do something. This is also kind of in the same category as loss. You don't want to lose status from your identity, perhaps, or you don't want to lose status because you fail at something, or you don't want to lose money, or you don't want to lose something that you already have. Fear of loss can be a really strong motivator because we humans have a real strong fear of loss that is much proportionally greater than the hope of gaining an equivalent amount. Now, I want to talk about maybe the greatest book ever on motivation and creating habits, James Clear's Atomic Habits. This book has some really great gems and a lot of great advice on how to create habits and how to stay motivated long enough for habits to form. In his book, he talks about the power of accountability. Now, I kind of wanted to break down what accountability is through the lens of this idea of accountability as a system of motivation generation. To me, accountability is a form of push motivation. Accountability is basically punishment for wrong behavior. Accountability is a system whereby not staying committed to a behavior, you lose money, status, or something else of value. Or more generally, you get punished. So basically, if you don't want to lose status, money, or behavior or get punished, you stay committed to the behavior. Atomic Habits has a lot of systems for accountability, and we'll talk a little bit about systems for accountability. The first system of accountability is finding an accountability partner. Find someone you trust and tell them your goals, and then set up regular check-ins where you can share your progress. Knowing someone else is watching increases the cost of procrastination and thus increases your motivation. This uses the potential loss of status as a motivator. If you do not stay committed to your goal, then you will lose status in the eyes of your accountability partner. And just knowing someone is watching gives you a lot of motivation, as you will feel shame if you do not keep up to your promises. The second tool is joining a community where the desired behavior is normal. If you surround yourself with people who already do the behavior you want to do, then you have more motivation to keep up with the behavior because you want to fit in. Now, this is really great also because, again, if you don't do the behavior that is expected in the community, then you will lose status in the eyes of the community. Examples of this could be joining a gym class or joining an entrepreneur community or a game dev community. If you are not doing the actions that are kind of norm in the community, then the others will view you as a lesser member, or kind of as a casual or a not very serious about the endeavor. And this will again lose you status in the community. In these communities, people also reward you by giving you, congratulating you, and giving you cheers for every success and every action you take. The third accountability tool is public announcement. If you publicly announce your goal to your friends or on social media or to a community, then breaking your promise would damage your reputation. And humans avoid, at least smart humans avoid damaging their reputation because it's really hard to build your reputation back once it has been damaged. And reputation can be a really valuable asset for everyone. Reputation helps you make friends, it gives you opportunities. If you have a bad reputation, no one wants to associate with you. The fourth one is perhaps the most powerful of them all. It's the habit contract. Write down your goal or the habit, so what you have to do, and write down consequences if you fail to do it. You should definitely involve a accountability partner to enforce the contract. For example, if I don't finish my build for my game this week, I will pay you 20 euros. If I don't make 2 videos per week for a month, I will pay you 50 euros, or I will do something I don't want to do, or any consequence that you don't want to face. Something that is rewarding enough or punishing enough for you to stick with the habit. The condition for the punishment needs to be so specific that you can inarguably say yes or no, you have reached the condition. These tools are very powerful, and you can combine many of them to get an even stronger effect. And if you also add reward to each of these, then they become even more powerful. That way you are being pushed from the fear and you're being pulled towards the reward for maximum effect. Also, whenever you achieve your goal of like sticking to the habit or whatever your goal may be, remember to bathe in the feeling of success on its own. You want to cultivate a sense of internal reward and not just rely on external rewards. This way you can build even a stronger foundation for motivation. Now, last I wanted to talk a little bit about Ali Abdaal 7 video challenge. I took this challenge because I wanted some accountability for making YouTube videos. The challenge is basically the following. It costs $300 to enter, and if you make 7 videos, you get your money back. Now, they give all the tools and the tutorials to how to make those 7 videos, and the guidelines for making the videos are very loose. It's not very restricted what kind of videos you can make. First, the accountability partner. While this program doesn't have any systems for having an accountability partner, Ali's flagship course does have a page for finding an accountability buddy. The community. This course has a little bit of a community aspect. You publish your videos publicly into the community, and then other people can comment on those. Unfortunately, it's a little inactive. I wish they would try to promote more activity in the community. I think if some moderators or someone would comment on every post, that could really boost the engagement in there. And the fourth habit building accountability tool is the habit contract. And this challenge is using the habit contract to the maximum. Well, almost. If you do the challenge, if you complete the 7 videos, you get your $300 back. So that's a lot of money. So you have a really big incentive to actually complete the program. The only drawback is that you pay it up front. So it's not using the loss aversion principle, because you already have paid the money and now you're just getting $300 back. You're not actually doing the videos to avoid losing the money. Well, you could say that, well, actually you kind of are doing the challenge to not lose the money, but it psychologically doesn't feel that way. It feels like you have already spent the money and you're just fighting to get it back. Now, my experience with the challenge, well, this is my 7th video, so the challenge is going quite well. And it has made it a lot easier to stick with making the videos, and it has helped me get over the fear of starting, and just it has helped me build the consistency that is needed for this game. So if you want to get started but you're afraid and you have trouble, I would definitely recommend giving it a try, or using the other tools outlined in this video to get started with YouTube. You don't have to pay Ali necessarily. You could pay your friend if you don't complete the challenge, and then you could maybe get a bit more juice out of the loss aversion principle. If you found this useful or interesting, make sure to like the video and subscribe. And if you want a community to keep you accountable in your game development journey, make sure to join the group down below in the description.